All right, here is how you make starter. Now the reason I'm doing the starter video separate, I'm doing this one first, so that you can go on to make the bread in the second video. So watch this one first if you don't have any starter, and then that way you can get that going. And then the video that I made secondly, that is actually baking the bread, comes next. So you need to have the starter done about a week ahead of time. So here's how you make the starter. First thing you're going to want to get is a large glass container. And because this is something that you'll be doing every weekend, I like to name mine. So my starter is named Fred. So that's the first thing. You want to make sure it has a screw top so that it can keep things from falling out. And you can adjust how tight you have it on. When you're not using it during the week and it's in the refrigerator, you can screw it on tight. Or when you have it sitting on the counter, you can let it sit and it will just sit there like that. So that's the first step. Here are the ingredients that you're going to be needing according to the recipe. First thing is you need a packet of active dry yeast mix. These usually come, several of them all strung together, and then you just need to cut them apart with scissors. And the important thing that you want to do is you want to check the expiration date. All of them have an expiration date. You want to make sure that it is not expired, because unlike some things, this won't work. Because they are live. They're just dormant right now, but yeast are live. And if it's past the expiration date, then they won't do anything for you. So you mix up your starter, you let it sit for a week in the fridge, you open it up next weekend, and it's going to smell dead. So you want to make sure that it's not expired. So once you know that it's something that is good, just cut it open. Dump it in there. Should look like little grains of sand. All right, so that's the first ingredient. The next one is you want 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Okay, so I don't have a 3/4 cup. Most people don't, so you just want to do 1/4 3 times. So you scoop it in there. If you have chunks in there of sugar, that's fine. You can either leave them in there or get them out. They'll end up dissolving anyway. So there's 1/4. And 2/4 and 3/4. So there's 3/4 of a cup of sugar, a cup of warm water. You want to make sure that it is warm water, not hot water. Hot water will kill the yeast and then you have to start all over. So you want it to be warm enough just to wake them up and make them cozy, not so warm that it ends up killing them. All right, and the last thing is that you want 4 tablespoons of potato flakes. Don't be cheap. Get the really good kind. So here's our potato flakes, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. You can take a spoon, stir it up a little bit, and you are set. Okay, so you want to put the top on. You want to screw it on so that it's not tight, but there we go. So you screw it all the way tight and then back it off just a little bit so that it rattles. That gives it a chance for any of the gas that is being expelled by the yeast as they are waking up and starting to digest the sugar and the starch from the potato flakes. Gives them a way for it to escape. Otherwise you end up getting a gas bubble in there, and we don't want that. So keep that on your counter. You're going to want to keep that on your counter for 24 hours. So right now it's middle of the day, so it's about 1 o'clock, and so I would leave this on the counter until about 1 o'clock tomorrow. So you're going to just set it out of the way until tomorrow, and then I'll tell you what to do with it next. Okay, Fred has been sitting on the counter for 24 hours, and so he's been able to percolate, and all the little yeasty creatures in there have been doing a very nice job of digesting the materials that are in there. And so now it's time to kind of put them to sleep for a little while. So we're going to put this in the refrigerator. Again, make sure that you label it somehow. So this is Fred, and tell everybody who lives in your house what this is and not to throw it away. Otherwise they're going to look at it, they're going to think it's gross, and they're going to dump it. Yes, I've had that happen. So make sure that you tell them what it is, and then just put it somewhere in the back of your fridge. At this point, you can screw the cap on a little bit tighter so that if it gets bumped, it's not going to spill in your refrigerator. and then you can just kind of forget about it for the next week. So you're supposed to feed it, it says, after about 5 days, but 5 days doesn't always work for me. So I always do 7 or 6, depending on when the weekend is. I like to feed mine on Saturday morning so that I'm baking bread on Sunday, and then I'm ready to go for the week. So I'm going to put this in the fridge, and it's going to sit there until next week.